I've been gone for a bit. I've been visiting family in different states. I've been out of town, and other than that, working on homework for college. So it's been a lot. I've been doing a lot and haven't really had time to stream or edit videos. So, but I'm back, and we are going to stream today. And we are watching another Rotten Mango video because, once again, love Stephanie. She's awesome. We're gonna be watching Korean evil twin tried to kill perfect sister to take over her identity. So we're gonna hop right into that so we can just go ahead and get started. Oh, I guess I need to stop the music. Hold on. Now I'll switch over. There. Beautiful, got it. Okay, we should be good. I always forget to unmute my desktop. There we go. We'll try it again.
Bada bing, bada boom.
The police officer is running through the apartment complex.
I also... Oh, my cat knocked something over. I think my headphones are connected wonky, maybe. It doesn't sound right. Hold on. Oh, you don't need to see that. Hold on. Well, oh well. It'll be fine. I guess we'll see.
Highest priority calls that the station had gotten
It's fine.
the entire day. Possible hostage situation in a nice, family-friendly Orange County apartment complex. It's the middle of the day. There could be children running around. All they know is that there is a potential home invasion and essay of college students by 2 male home invaders. A group of 4 young girls lived together. 2 gunmen had forced their way in. That's pretty much all he knows. The 911 call was placed 2 minutes ago, and one of the roommates had been hiding in the bathroom and whispering, please hurry, I think they're essaying my roommate right now, please. That's all they have.
Oh, we can actually hear it?
One of the officers arriving at the scene. He's running through the parking lot when he notices a blue Mustang sitting there, which is nothing out of the ordinary, but as he's running past, there's 2 people sitting in the Mustang. So he approaches the car, and there's a Korean girl in the driver's seat, a young man in the passenger seat. Do you live here? Are you a resident here?
I mean, I guess everyone's kind of a
rolls down her window. Yes, I am. Sorry, officer. I just got into a fight with my roommate, so I just wanted to get some Is there something wrong? Is something going on? Is there a problem inside? And your roommates are still inside? I'm sorry, is there a problem? Is there something going on? What is your unit number? 676? Interesting. The officer's radio starts buzzing. The other officers need backup at unit 676. He's about to rush off, but he stops. He looks at the Korean girl for a brief moment. Black hair, fair skin, brown eyes. Most police officers, he's trying to memorize the face of every single person he sees at a crime scene. And one more thing. What's your name? I'm Sunny. My name's Sunny Han. There's a lot of questions that you never want to ask a police officer, especially when there's 4 of them holding their guns out, pointed directly at your face. Probably top of the list of questions never to be asked would be something along the lines of, if I run, are you going to shoot me?
Are you serious?
There's 4 police officers at the door to unit 676. A male had just opened the door, a male gunman. They know that there's only 2 male gunmen and the rest of the residents are girls. So this has to be the home invader. And the police are staring at him and he's got the door cracked open like he lives there. Like he's opening the door to the mailman. The officers don't even know how to respond. They just scream, get down on the ground now, get down on the ground. The guy pauses for a second. He's running through his options. And then he slams the apartment door shut on the police officer's face.
Did he ask that question or?
He asked the question.
Okay, so now kick down the door.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, then kick the door.
They eventually break into the apartment through the back. He is tackled onto the ground and arrested. So now all that leaves for the police officers is taking the statements of the
if he slammed the front door shut, why didn't they leave? Like leave through the back door while the cops are at the front door? Not suggesting you do that. I'm just saying. Why didn't you just leave? You knew they were going to get in one way or another. sooner or later.
2 victims. They find 2 female victims inside the unit. 2 shaking Korean girls, maybe 21, 22 years old. They're standing there hugging themselves. They're taking turns trying to rip the duct tape out of each other's hair and legs. The officer approaches
Ooh.
them and he's hit with this really strange feeling. This overpowering sense of deja vu. I mean, she just looks
Okay.
so familiar. He could have sworn he saw
Oh,
the dark hair, pale
twin,
skin, brown.
right?
But again, I mean, maybe it's just been a long day, right? But there's just this feeling the more she talks, then he tied
Mm-hmm.
us up and put a gun to our heads and then forced us both into the bathtub where he was going to. I'm so sorry, ma'am. I'm so sorry. What's your name again? My name is Sunny. Sunny Han?
Wait, okay. That's Sunny. But there was the girl that was outside in the car said her name was Sunny. That's where she. I can't speak. That's where he knew her from. That's why she felt familiar, and probably sounded very similar. So now, who's taken whose identity? Do you think it's the one in the car, or do you think it's the one that was in the house? We're gonna find out.
We would like to thank today's sponsors who have made it possible for Rotten Mango to support the Palestine Children's Relief Fund. They are volunteer-based and are working towards a world where all children in the Middle East have access to medical and humanitarian
I love you
aid.
and
This episode's partnerships
the
have
people who you sponsor or who sponsor you, but I kind of don't want to listen to the sponsor.
for your own exploits. So if that is triggering, take
Just
some
saying.
time for yourself and we will see you in the next one.
Oh,
So
there was some
which
kind of
is
trigger
also
warning.
known as pretending to. Before we get started,
There we
a
go.
few quick disclaimers. Today's case is relatively non-graphic. However, there are some
Okay.
brief mentions of R-word and self-exit as well as gun violence. There is also a
Okay.
portion where the perpetrator queer baits,
Damn,
which
all
is
that stuff
also
has
known
to
as
be
pretending to be a
censored.
part of the LGBTQIA+ community for your own exploits. So if that is triggering, take some time for yourself and we will see you in the next one. So with that being said, let's get into the case that everyone believes is about one evil twin and one really good twin.
Okay.
But is that really the case? How can one person be at 2 places at once? But here she is on the witness stand, testifying as a victim, and then you turn your head and there she is again, sitting next to the attorneys at the defendant table. Most of the people in the courtroom, the judge, the jury, they all have to keep doing double takes, left, right, like they're watching a tennis match. It's like watching a mirrored image. When one on the witness stand would start crying, the other one would instantly start crying at the defense table. It's like they shared the same emotional string. It was
I guess
really
they were
weird.
close.
It's like a glitch in the universe. Watching
I would assume a
2
lot of twins
clones.
are.
I mean, there's obviously a very reasonable answer for this. They're identical twins. One is on the
Right.
stand as a victim, and the other is on the stand as the defendant. On trial, one is on the stand. Obviously, a very reasonable answer for this.
Don't look at these pictures.
They're identical twins.
Okay, you can kind of see the difference. I don't know if it's well, I don't know if it's like angle or lighting. The girl on the right, my right, I think that's still the screen's right. Her eyes are bigger than her sister's. And her lips are like, she has a wider cupid's bow, and she has more like curved lips, whereas her sister has more pointy lips. Their eyebrows are also different. The other sister got bangs, but that's kind of obvious.
One is on the stand as a victim.
Continuing on.
And the other is on the stand as the defendant, on trial for conspiring to murder her identical twin sister. All because she wanted to be her twin. She wanted to be her.
Okay.
Sunny Han is staring at the police officer. You cannot be serious right now. Oh, we're serious. What the hell did Gina do? She's always lying to get me in trouble. This is not real.
So we got Sunny and Gina.
That's not what the neighbor said, by the way. The city of Irvine, I mean, we lived there briefly. It is a weird place. It's in Orange County, which is in California. And the city itself feels like a fake Black Mirror city. It's beautiful, don't get me wrong, but everything is beige. And it's a giant bubble. Every house looks the same.
Oh.
Every apartment complex looks the same. And they're
Very,
all owned by the same company.
Cookie cutter.
Everything is so clean, but in a straight, yes, it's strange. It's sterile. It's like, I don't know if human cities are made to be this clean. It just doesn't naturally happen. It's the place that you go to have children. You send them to school, and then you have a suburban routine that
okay.
just loops and loops and loops until you die. And that year, there was only one recorded murder for the full 365 days in the city of Irvine. It is consistently ranked one of
Wow.
the safest cities in the United States. Nothing ever happens in Irvine.
Okay.
That's why Carla, fake name,
second you say
moved to
nothing
Irvine
ever
in the first
happens,
place.
something's
For
gonna
some peace
happen.
and quiet. Look what you did to me! Look at me! How could you do this to your own flesh and blood? Calm down. Carla looks out the window and there's two girls. I mean, she knows that there's two separate girls because they look the same and they're standing in front of each other. It's almost like, again, looking at a mirrored image, but one of them is covered in blood. So obviously, it's two girls. It looks like someone took a meat cleaver and just smashed it into her nose bridge. And now that girl, the bloody girl, is screaming at
Damn.
the top of her lungs, look what you did to me! You stole my car. You started it. Someone help me, please. Someone help me. She's gonna kill me.
How old?
They're
are
like
they?
21.
Oh
Oh.
my gosh. Okay,
It appeared
so
one of the girls
adults.
was trying to kill the other. So Carla naturally calls the police. When the police arrive, they arrest Sunny Han, which makes sense. She's the one without the blood dried on her shirt. That makes sense, right? But they're not arresting her for punching and assaulting her sister. They already had a warrant out for Sunny Han's arrest.
For what?
So that being said, Sunny Han is in
What'd she
big trouble.
do?
Asian gangs in Orange County are actually a very big thing. There's
I
the
see.
Tiny Rascals gang, the Asian boys, watching Dragon Family, the Korean gangs like the Korean Crazy Dogs. There's a lot and they all have turf wars. And one of them, or maybe a
Okay.
few of them, were out for Gina Han.
Fair.
That's what she's frantically telling her friends.
I believe that. 100%.
My sister Sunny, my twin sister Sunny, her boyfriend is in one of those Orange County based Asian gangs and they're gonna get me. I have to be careful every time I drive into Orange County. Your sister?
So
Why would your twin sister
she's
want to do something like that to you?
scared?
I mean, that's your twin sister at the end of the day, no? I know, but when we were 15 years old, I don't even remember what I
Wait.
did.
So, hold on. She's saying that her sister tried to put a hit out on her? Is that what we're getting with this? Right? I'm not, right?
It was honestly probably nothing, but we're arguing like we normally do, and I'm telling you, she's insane. Out of nowhere, my sister Sunny grabs a sharp pen and stabs me in the thigh with it. That was when we were 15. And now she's put a hit out on me. Now they're 23, and Sunny, according
Can
to
you
Gina, has
imagine
been
your family
exponentially
putting a
getting more
hit out on
homicidal.
you?
Gina's anxiously grabbing her arms while
Or-
telling her
or
friends and
putting a
anybody
hit
who will
out
listen
on
that
your
Sunny put a
family?
hit out on her, and she's so
Like you
scared.
putting a hit
She
out on
told
your
her
family?
boyfriend, who's in one of those gangs, to kidnap me,
I-
essay me, and then kill me
Mm-mm.
on site, no questions asked. Which is interesting, because what if they catch Sunny instead? How could they tell the difference? A girl walks into the police station not too long after all of this, and she walks up to the officer.
You can tell the difference.
Hi, I would like to pick up my ID, please. She's standing in front of the receptionist at the sheriff's office. Name, please. Sunny. My name is Sunny Han. Or at least it will be soon, because all Gina has to do first is kill her twin sister Sunny to become her.
Okay, well, yeah, they look
So
very
Gina
similar.
wants
I
to
mean,
be
they are
Sunny.
identical
Yes.
twins.
And Sunny is
In jail.
in jail.
Yeah, she just got out.
Sunny just got out.
Yeah.
But Gina wants to
Okay.
be Sunny now.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
So
we'll get there.
Sunny did
Why?
beat Gina up.
Sunny did beat her up, yes.
And Sunny is dating someone in a gang.
Allegedly.
Okay.
Now, one of the
Gotta say
creepiest
allegedly.
psychological studies
No.
done was in the 1960s.
Be careful.
Two scientists were debating nature versus nurture. Are you born this way, or are you made this way, or is it kind of a mixture?
What was it? She might be about to say it, but one of the differences. I mean, there are many, but one of the differences between being a psychopath and being a sociopath, when they were different terms, because they kind of are different things, similar but different. Psychopaths are born that way, and sociopaths are made that way. So it's this whole nature versus nurture thing. Psychopath is nature, and sociopath is nurture. I think. I remember reading about that, but it was a while ago. So I might be wrong, but that's what I remember. You can fact check it
nature versus nurture. Are you born this way or are you made this way? Or is it kind of a mixture of both? Some believe that it's nature,
it can
that
also be
genetic traits
a
are
mixture.
handed down by parents through evolution and all of that, and they influence everything about an individual. And it's precisely that, your genetic makeup, that makes each person so incredibly unique. The argument being, there could be a set of twins that have the exact same genetic makeup, and yet their lives turn out drastically
Very
different.
different. Yeah.
How does that make sense? But
I mean, they're
others
different
argue
people.
it's not that simple. There's no way
Duh.
that both twins experience the same exact life trauma experiences and stimulations in life. So with nurture, each twin turns out different from the other. Then you have people
Okay.
arguing that it's a mixture of both nature and nurture that defines who somebody is. I mean, it's so hard to argue because
could see
there's no
that,
solid
yeah.
proof that it's one or the other. If someone ends up being an incredibly stubborn person when they're older, is it a result of their genes or their environment or a mixture of both? There's no perfect answer. Dr. Viola Bernard invented what she called...
I would say it's a mixture. Yeah. I'd say it's definitely a mixture.
Called the twinning reaction, placing
Okay.
two twin infants
We got a new
into
term.
two different adopted families. So she ran this adoption center,
so you
or
split
she
them
worked
up.
with an adoption center. And every time they would get two twins, they would adopt them out to separate families and not tell anybody that they were one half of a twin. They would not tell the adoptive parents. They would not tell the...
Is that legal? Is that okay to do? I don't know laws behind like adoptions and stuff. If it's what is it? Open adoption, or just if you adopt, aren't you supposed to get all information, including the child's family, even if family is dead or whatever? Shouldn't you still be told? So is that legal? Also, just why? I'm kind of confused. I'm curious what the point behind it is.
Twin, it would be nowhere in the files.
Is that okay to do?
This is probably one of the most debated, questionable, unethical studies that was ever done on twins.
That's crazy.
There were a lot of people who committed self-exits after this.
What?
Now, they do not tell the parents that they are twins. They let them grow up not knowing there's another pair of them somewhere out there in the world. Then later they go and study their lives and behaviors under the disguise of, oh, we're doing an adoption study because you've been adopted and we'd just like to ask you a few questions. This, they thought, could answer the never-ending debate of nature versus nurture because their genetic makeup is the same. I will say the study itself, all of the files are sealed to this day. So I don't really know if anything came out of it. It doesn't seem like anything came out of it. It just seems that they were committing morally unethical studies, in my opinion.
Yeah, it wasn't.
But the part
it probably
that fascinated
wasn't legal.
a lot of people
no wonder.
was the idea that if there are twins who don't know they have a twin out there, do they grow up like everybody else? Do they grow up like me, where I know I don't have a twin out there? I hope. Do they feel something,
grow up like normal
or do
people.
they feel somehow subconsciously that something is missing? One unwilling participant in the study, Doug, his dad explained. Doug just always had this anger that revolved around the fact that he always felt that something was absent from his life, and he just could never put his finger on it. Doug would be reunited with his twin Howard, and they realized some eerie coincidences. They got married the same year. They had kids the same year. Both their kids played the same sports, and additionally, both their kids had the same number jersey assigned to them. Number 2.
They didn't even know each other.
They both had similar eating habits. They don't like condiments or sauces on their food because they, quote, had no use for them. So it's very strange.
Your burger ain't dry.
It's like they both felt like something was missing, and they both kind of lived parallel lives.
You never get... Hold on. We got Publix in my area. We get Publix sandwiches sometimes. And those motherfuckers be dry sometimes. So you gotta put, like, the mayo and mustard and whatever on it. Or else it's gonna be very, dry. You can still eat it. It's still edible. But it's better with the condiments.
Lives. The study itself resulted in 2 self-exits, and it ruined a lot of people's lives because once they found out they had a twin, it just was unbearable.
Really?
I think it was
the thought of a lot of them
being able
did
to
discuss
you
how
could
they
have
just
been
felt
with
empty
them
their whole
if not
lives.
for
They
this
didn't
study.
understand how other people felt complete. They never
That is
felt
so
complete,
strange.
and they never understood what the gloominess feeling was from. Maybe if they knew,
Shit, do
it
I
would
got
have
a
made
twin out
things
there?
better, but then to have that betrayal later on, I think it was too
It's
difficult.
harsh.
Sunny
Mm.
and Gina both found out about each other at around the age of 5. They both found out that there is a girl in the same town as them that looks just like
Okay.
them, like a little doppelganger.
Well, at least
Sunny's
they were
mom,
both
she wasn't
young,
surprised.
I
Gina's
suppose.
dad wasn't surprised that they had a doppelganger because this was the agreement. After the divorce, they would each get one twin. I'm
What?
not sure if it was completely random. I don't know why Gina went with her dad and Sunny went with her
Okay,
mom, or if they had favorites ever since they were born.
wait. What? Oh, what's that movie? What's the movie? Is it Parent Swap? That's not it. Wait. Is it? Is that? Hold on. Let me Google this. Because that's what. Nope. Nope. There we go. That's what I've got. Parent. The Parent Trap. You know, two twins. And let me get back here. It's Parent Trap, pretty much. The parents divorced, and there were twins, and one kid went to each parent. Oh my god.
Born, but the girls were split up, they're separated, and then later reunited with the
Wow,
very
okay.
calm introduction of like, oh yeah, you're twins. The reason for the reunion and the life epiphany was that Mr. Han decides he's going to be a family man. He met a new woman, he's going to start a new life with her, have children with her,
Oh.
and start a family. So in
Okay.
order to do that, he can't have a family. It's time for him to be
so what, he has
child-free.
to give...
So he gives Gina back to Mrs. Han, and they are reunited. And at
What,
first it seems like...
So they decided they were going to each take a kid, and he said, nah, this ain't for me. I can't get a woman this way. Take your kid back. Bro, dude, that's a damn kid. You can't just return him. You're not at Target where you can just like return something you bought when it didn't work out. That's not what this is. That is a commitment. Stick to it, motherfucker.
The reunion is the best thing that could have ever happened. Sunny and Gina are so happy to be with each other, and I imagine it's like every kid's dream to find out that they have a
at least
lost
they got to
twin
be
out there, and
together,
now
though.
instead of
That's
experiencing
something.
life alone, they have each other. And now both of them are living with Mrs. Han, their mother, and she's got double the kids, and she's putting in half the effort. There's a carton
You
of eggs
better
in the
be
fridge.
helping
Bye.
pay.
Be safe. She would just slam the door shut, and the girls would be home alone for days,
So they
and
had
they would
to
be
take care
left
of
with nothing but a
themselves.
carton of eggs. They would finish that tiny carton in a day or two, and now they have nothing. They don't have any food. They don't have anyone to call. They don't have anything to eat. In
Better be
addition to
cooking
that, they have no
one
idea
egg
when
at
their
a
mom is
time.
going to be back. It's kind of a
Per meal,
sadistic
one egg per
psychological
meal.
experiment set up. The two of them are fighting for resources in the same house, a fight for survival. It's very primal, but at the same time, they are each other's only emotional comfort and support, which is at that age especially very critical for survival.
Yeah.
It's a very
Crucial,
confusing
right.
question of, are they competing with each other or are they enduring it together? And all of this would
Maybe
be
a bit
made
of
even more
both.
confusing by the fact that random men would just show up at the house odd hours of the night. Sometimes their mom would let them in, and it would be one of her boyfriends. The girls never really bothered to learn their names
And
because it
the
was a
other
revolving
times?
door. Other times their mom would hide behind the couch. Shh, do not say a single word and do not turn on the light.
Hide two girls
Yeah.
behind the couch.
Ma'am, what
Because
were
the
you
loan sharks would
involved
be
in?
out. And they can sniff out
Loan
blood.
sharks.
311% interest a year is what
Whoa,
loan
whoa,
sharks
whoa,
in
whoa,
South Korea
whoa.
can charge. Meaning, if you borrow
300? Hold
$10,000,
on.
you have to ultimately
Let
South
me-
Korea can charge.
Let me make sure I heard
percent
this right.
interest, and they can sniff out blood.
Right? Ready? Let's see.
311% interest a year
300.
is what loan
Oh
sharks
my
in South Korea can
God.
charge. Meaning,
How?
if you borrow
It's what they can charge, like, legally? How can you charge that much? How is that okay? What the? Wow. Wow. Well, that's how they get their money.
borrow $10,000, you
God
have to ultimately pay back the $10,000 you borrowed,
That's
but also
insane.
an additional $31,100. The
There's
total
no way.
amount that they
Nope.
gave you, $10,000. The total amount you got to give them back, $41,100.
That's
Mrs.
how it
Han
works,
is
though.
addicted to gambling. And her
Oh,
relationships in Korea
man.
are not working out. Her daughters, Gina and Sunny, are fighting nonstop. A normal day in the house consists of the girls finding new bruises on their bodies, putting Neosporin on new cuts, and counting how many hairs they
I
ripped off each
mean,
other's heads.
Oh, this is all in South Korea?
Yes,
it's
they moved.
because they grew up having to fend for themselves and fight each other for food. That's why they turned out this way and fighting every day and yelling at each other.
Now it's time to put it all behind
Mama,
them.
go
They
take care
packed
of
their
your
bags.
kids.
We're moving to California.
Mm.
It's supposed to be this new fresh start, but it's not. It's the same thing that was happening in Korea, but now in California. Except it's so much worse because the girls can't go to the convenience store and try to buy a boiled egg. They don't know anybody in California. They don't speak the language. They just sit there at home with each other, and that's it.
Yeah.
Until a few years later, they turned 13. Mom's like,
Okay.
pack your bags. Say goodbye to your friends because you're starting all over again. The car pulls up to a
Okay, so it's
random
now
house in
what?
Orange County. The door swings open
Okay.
and Mrs. Han walks them to the door. Meet your aunt. This is my sister. This is my sister's husband, your uncle. This is your new family now. And Mrs.
Oh,
Han just walks off.
Where did she go?
what?
To
Okay, so
gamble,
neither
live
of
her
them
own
really
life.
wanted the kids.
Now, this is where I think the nurture part really
Wow.
comes into play because they went from moving to the United States in the 6th grade to becoming co-valedictorians of their high school 6 years later. A lot of people attribute
They
this to their
had
aunt and uncle, and
people
I'm
who
sure they do
actually
have
like
quite a bit to do
cared and
with
took
it.
care of
But if you
them.
really knew the twins, there was this underlying steam just bubbling to burst. They were so intensely jealous of each other. It was likely the most overpowering emotion that they felt in their entire lives. They would rather die than let one be the valedictorian. They would rather push
Really?
and push themselves until both of them were equal or one of them was better, but then the other one would die before they let that happen.
Wait, so they were both top of the class,
Yes.
exactly the
Well,
same.
Yes.
why be so
exact
jealous of
equal.
each other?
Wow.
I don't.
It's as
Let
if
me
you were to
say, I don't have a sibling, so I don't really understand it. Well, why be jealous of each other? Like, to that extent, why would you be that jealous of each other? I don't understand it. Wouldn't you be happy for your sibling? Like, yeah, y'all fight, but be happy for your sibling, right?
put the most stubborn people in the room, put them in a staring contest. Both eyes are wide open. A minute passes. Both of them start crying. There's tears streaming down their face. 2 minutes, their eye veins are popping out. 3 minutes, the whites of their eyes are bloodshot. They won't stop. They'd rather die. Somebody else in the middle has to be like, okay, you guys are both winners. Co-winners of the staring contest.
That's
Look
so
at the
weird.
winners.
You know how like usually when we talk about twins, like they have this crazy connection that they will
They're
do
like attached
anything
at
for
the
their
hip,
twins.
yeah.
This is like the opposite scale.
Yeah.
They are
Oh,
so
100%.
like, you know.
And a lot
You're
of people
speaking facts
attribute
right
and
now, Mr.
wonder
Panda
if
Head.
it's because they were separated when they were kids. Subconsciously, if it happened as they were babies, isn't that fascinating to think about? If you're a twin, please let me know in the comments if you think that would have made things different between your relationship.
Wow.
It's interesting.
I mean, it
Now,
is.
that's the twins' relationship.
I still
They
don't
could
think the
not see
study
the
they
other
did
one shine.
was
They were hyper competitive in every
I
aspect
don't
of
like
their
the way it
lives.
was done.
School,
Like,
grades, boys, friends, likability, which Gina Han always felt like it was unfair. Sunny was naturally more extroverted than Gina. People said, oh, Sunny, like her name. She's just Sunny. And
She's
then things
happy.
just came easier to Sunny. She would study 3 hours a day, get a 98 on an exam.
Ooh.
Gina would have to study 5 hours to get the same
Okay,
freaking
I can
98 on
see
the
how you
same
could
exact
kind of be
exam.
jealous
but it's
of that.
fine because Gina would just stay up late and
Although
put in
I
the
will
extra
say,
hours.
normally in school, and this is up till I got to college. Well, up till like a few years into college, I never studied. I never studied for my tests or quizzes because when I studied, I would get a worse grade than when I didn't study. So I just said, fuck the studying, and didn't do it. And then I normally got good grades. Now, on college, about halfway through my college experience, like I'm doing okay, you know, I still can get by without like studying, but I'm trying to do well. I want to get like, you know, A's and B's in my classes. So I study now. Kind of. I study like the day before or like maybe 2 days before, but I really procrastinate. So normally it's either the day before or the day of. But I study. I still get it done. It takes me a bit, but I do it. So I can see how you could be jealous of someone who doesn't study and gets really good grades, whereas you study forever and just don't. It's frustrating when you have to work so hard for something that comes so easy for someone else, especially when you're siblings, because siblings are often compared to each other.
Of course, because she would rather die than see Sunny get a 98 and she get a 95. There is, however, one thing that Gina did not stand a chance on, no matter how hard she tried, and that was being mom's favorite.
Oh,
Sunny was always mom's favorite. Every time she would visit, it was
damn.
always Sunny this, Sunny that.
The mom that left them?
Yeah. 21-year-old Gina walks up to her commanding officer, her senior at the
she
Lackland
may
Air
have
Force
left
Base
them,
in
but
Texas. This
I
is
guess she
after high
still
school.
wants
She
her
graduates as
attention, her
co-valedictorian,
respect.
and now she's in the Air Force. And side note, Lackland Air Force Base is not the type of place to go if you're interested in having a chill life. Trainees have to go through intense, rigorous physical training 6 days a week. On average, you have to be able to run 1.5 miles, do 33
Okay.
push-ups, and 42 sit-ups
Okay.
in under 12 minutes.
Okay. Oh,
Which
12 minutes?
my toxic trait is like,
My fastest mile was in high school, and that was 5 minutes and something seconds. I can't remember. I ran a 3K. 5K? Good grief. I can't think. 3.5 miles in about a little over 28 minutes, probably about 29. That was my fastest. Normally, I was not in that range. I am not that quick. But I did okay. I could run a mile in about, well, I'd say closer to like 6 or 7 minutes. If I was still in my prime of it, which I am not. I could not do that now. I would need a lot of breaks.
that doesn't sound too hard. No, it's really hard, okay? And that's just the physical training aspect. There's the
Oh, yeah, you
military
get
training,
tired of it
combat
all.
lessons, field training, academic studies. Every second of
It's
your
not
day
easy.
is prepped and planned. There is no such thing as freedom when you're defending the nation's freedom. Gina walks up to her commanding officer. So, guys, I'm really lesbian.
What? Wait, hold on.
What?
Who is
Okay.
the older sister? Is there older,
what?
younger?
Sunny is 5 minutes older.
Sunny's older. Got it.
Yes. Gina walks up to her commanding officer. I'm very lesbian. I'm very gay. I love women.
Oh, okay.
This is her last resort. She tried other things. She tried to tell them that her dad was sick, but they didn't care. When you join the Air Force, you have to
she's
sign a
trying to get
contract
out?
for at least 2 years, sometimes 4 or 6. And you know how your job, you have to give, well, it's polite to give a 2-week notice, but technically you can just
Mhm.
walk out and never come back. The military,
Yep.
you
That
can't
happened
do
quite a
that.
lot
You
at one of
sign
my
your
old
life away
jobs.
to the government. You have to either be honorably or dishonorably discharged. If you walk off that base, you've gone AWOL. And if you go AWOL and they catch you, you're going to be tried in military court. Gina tried other methods. My dad is very, very, very sick. No, Cadet Han, unless you have medical records, we cannot discharge you. Okay,
They really
I'm
said, "Let me
gay.
see the
I'm
proof,
a
bitch."
lesbian. Cadet Han,
Okay.
you are discharged.
What?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
It's the don't ask.
Hold on. She can't get out by saying her dad's sick, but she could get out of it by saying she was gay. What? 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 Why? What kind of fucking set? The fuck?
Don't
Okay,
tell
yeah,
era.
we're
This
continuing.
is in the military.
kinda-
Being gay was completely banned at one point. They said it was, quote, incompatible with military service. So if you were
Sorry.
gay, you'd be discharged on the spot.
Incompatible.
Then the policy changed. They
The
said,
fuck?
fine, you can be gay, but you don't ever let anybody know about it. We don't ask, you don't tell, okay? If you tell, you will be discharged. I'm just saying.
Wow. Okay.
Because, you know, in the military, in times of war, there's bombs, there's missiles going off, there's casualties. But God forbid someone talks about being gay. That is so scary. They're shaking in their boots. They don't know what to do anymore. It would be too
Right.
horrific, tragic, stressful for the
Bring
big bad
the
boys in the
sass,
military.
Stephanie.
Over 13,000 service members were discharged under the don't ask, don't tell policy, including Gina Han.
Wow.
She's not gay. She just really wanted to get out of the Air Force. So with that military housing, Gina tries to find the quickest place to find employment and the best in terms of earning potential, fast tiring,
Just what the fuck?
was probably the casino. She starts working the tables as a blackjack dealer, and she would, on
Okay.
average, they make about
You can make a
$20,000
bit,
a year,
right?
but that's just the base salary.
Oh, they
Most
make
of their money comes
20,000?
in the form of tips. Las Vegas dealers can make
I
over
make.
6 figures a year.
You make 20,000? I make. Not a whole lot more than that. Dude, I'm struggling. I can't. I live paycheck to paycheck for the most part. Ain't no way. Well, wait. When was this? Oh, well, this also isn't. This isn't America, is it? No. Wait. Yes, it is. Hold on. I'm reviewing it in my head. Yes, it is. This is America. Okay. 20,000 to live on? It's not great. It's not great. I mean, it's doable depending where you are and what year this is, but now, nah, it's hard.
Depending on how good they are and which casino they work in. One day, Gina's working the tables when her colleague comes up to her. Hey, you want to go for drinks after? It'll be fun. We barely know you. What time do you get off? Oh, I get off in like 30 minutes. Oh, we get off in like 2 hours. Do you mind waiting for us? So Gina's like, okay, that's fine. I'll wait for them. She
Yeah,
clocks
get some
out and she's
friends,
got
Gina.
about an hour and a half to kill. And she's glancing around looking for something to do. I mean, she doesn't want to eat because she's not hungry. She doesn't want to drink because she's going out for drinks. And of course, the
Right.
thought did cross her mind. Does a referee have a better chance at winning a soccer game? Or a complete stranger who's never even seen a soccer field have a better chance at winning a soccer game? She's like, me, the referee. So she walks over to the blackjack table because she's a blackjack dealer and she starts betting. She loses every single penny that she earned that day. And now the dilemma hits. Either I go home after 9 hours of work and I get nothing because I lost it all, or I invest money, some money, okay, and withdraw some cash in the name of winning. Maybe she can still walk away with the money that she earned from her 9 hours of work, or maybe she could even make more.
So, mom had a gambling addiction. Now, daughter has a gambling addiction. Question is, was this... I mean, they were both with the mom since, what, they were 5 years old? But was this the twin that was with the mom since the beginning? Or is this the twin that joined on later? I can't remember which one was with the mom and which one wasn't.
More money. Gina walks over to the ATM. Her max cash withdrawal in a day is $300. She withdraws all $300. And she loses all $300. But now it's personal. It's a numbers game, right?
I don't gamble.
If she lost this much, eventually she will have to win. That's how life works. That's how the numbers games work. You can't just lose and lose and lose and lose, right? But if she doesn't play, she will lose that chance to win. And all of this would have been for nothing. She has to play again. Gina does not go out for drinks with her coworkers.
I don't gamble. I don't gamble a lot. I've gone to the casino a few times. And it's fun. Kinda. I don't really understand the whole hype about it. I don't care too much for gambling. I'll go. I'll do it. But I don't care too much for it, and I think that's because in my head I'm thinking about the money that we're losing. And I'm like, oh, there goes another 100. Oh, and it just flew away down the drain down there. Yep. I mean, it's great when you win, though. Don't get me wrong, it is. It's great when you win. But I just don't understand the whole hype about casinos and stuff.
Instead, she sits there waiting for the bank to open the next morning.
This all happened the first time.
But I don't play the card games or like poker or anything like that. I'm on the machines.
The first night that she gambles. She waits until 9 a.m. so she can go to the bank, withdraw all the cash that she has in her savings account, and go play the tables. Because she feels like she's about to win.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
She loses it all. And it would be the start of a pattern. Every day, Gina would clock in for work, make her money, clock out, sit at the table, and lose more than she made, just like her mom. Meanwhile, Sunny, mom's favorite, full ride scholarship to the University of Laverne. She's graduated college and is now living one of those very annoyingly perfect Facebook lives. I mean, she's got the cute little apartment, the ones with the resort style pool and a full-size gym included in the rent.
Nice.
She gets to drive around in a white BMW every day and wear designer clothes and her leather handbag that's designer. Does she even think about Gina? They barely talk after high school. Is that why they never call?
Where'd she get the money?
She's too
What'd
busy
she do for a
creating this
job?
perfect life and forgetting all about her twin sister. It's a very painful contrast to Gina's life right now. She's been in jail multiple times, Gina, for stealing. She's in debt. She's addicted to gambling, and she feels inferior
and,
to her sister.
Whose
I
fault is
wonder
that,
if
Gina?
she really wanted to win also
Yours.
just to,
Show Sunny.
yeah, or just win, you know,
Yeah,
compared to
win
Sunny.
at something.
Win something.
Right, because she's not winning.
No. And do you think 5 minutes can change your entire life?
Yeah.
That's
I
how
mean,
Gina
yeah.
feels. Sunny was born 5 minutes earlier than Gina. 5 minutes. 300 seconds. It's something that Sunny would never let her forget. And that's why Gina thinks Sunny was mom's favorite, because in
Don't
Korea, there
rub
is
it
a
in her
hierarchy.
face.
And now every time Gina thinks about Sunny, she's reminded of that. I think everyone has this feeling, the feeling of, oh, if I did that one thing differently, how would my life be? If I studied harder,
Yeah.
if I didn't miss that job interview, if I dated
If I
that
didn't
guy,
do this, if I
would
didn't
my
do
life
that.
be different? Okay, rather, if I didn't date that guy.
Bunch of what
That's a
ifs.
better one, okay? Would it look like that? Gina knew what her life would look like. Because us, we could sit here and wonder, but it's literally an imagination. Gina knows exactly what her life would look like if it was better. She could just go on Facebook and see Sunny living her better life. It's watching her parallel universe self living the fantastic life, and she's not there. And technically,
Life you want.
she could be. She could have that life. I mean, why not? She has the same DNA as her,
But
the
you'd have to
same
keep
face,
it
the
up.
same everything. I mean, she's technically entitled to that life. The only problem is
Yeah, I don't know about that.
there can only be one Sunny Han. And Gina would do anything to be her. 19-year-old
Okay.
Helen is sitting on the couch debating. She's completely frozen and she's thinking, do I just sit here
Helen?
and act like I didn't hear that? Or do I go investigate? So annoying. She decides to get up to investigate. She walks towards the front door of the apartment unit. There's a small side window right next to it. She was just gonna quietly peek out and make sure it's nobody important, like one of her 4 other roommates. When they make eye contact, he sees her, and
So
now
there's
it's too late.
5
If she
people in that
crouches down
house?
and tries to hide now, the man at the door is gonna know that someone is home and is pretending not to be home, which isn't illegal. It's just awkward.
Yeah.
Helen makes a
I get
split-second
that.
choice to just open the door a crack. I mean, she already dealt with him earlier, the boy selling magazines, which is kind of strange. It's not like he came back a day ago to sell her a magazine. He came back an hour ago. But maybe he forgot he already came to this apartment unit.
Okay.
Or maybe he really is desperate to sell
hour
these
ago.
magazines. Who knows? All Helen knows is she does not want to answer this freaking door. Oh,
And that's fair.
hi. The same
I
boy is
don't
holding a
open the
spread of
door
magazines in his hand.
for-
Next to
for
him,
people.
off to the side, is another
Not,
boy.
like, if I'm not expecting anybody or something, I am not opening the door. If you knock on my door or ring my doorbell or whatever, I'm not opening it. I'm not doing it because I don't know you. Hell, when we had the census people come by, we cracked our window to where, you got the screen, and we just talked to them through the screen. Because I was like, no, I'm not opening my door. I've seen too much shit. No, thank you.
Just standing there. It's weird. Hi, are you interested in buying a magazine? She looks down at the copies of Vogue, Cosmopolitan. Do they not remember that they were literally here 55 minutes ago? Oh, no thank you. I'm all right. She's about to close the door when the hand catches it. Would anyone else, any of your roommates, be interested? Oh, we all share
how do you
magazines,
know
so I think we're
She
fine.
got
Thank you,
roommates, though.
Helen's getting this weird feeling in her gut right now. I mean, normally magazine salespeople, they work alone. It's not a job that requires 2 people. It'd be a waste of time and resources
Right.
to have 2 people going door to door. Why aren't they even just splitting
Right.
up, going door to door? And then the other guy, he's just standing there. He's not even holding magazines. And they came just an hour ago. Why would they come back unless they're not trying to sell magazines? They're trying to do something else. So Helen steps back, goes to close the door, but the man with the magazine.
I do understand why it's very uncomfortable. This is a very weird situation. If this was the first time they came by, I'd be like, oh, maybe it's a coworker that came to keep them company, or maybe it's a friend that wanted to tag along or something. I could excuse that. But then coming back within the hour and doing this whole thing again, yeah, it's a bit weird. I can see where the weird off-putting feeling was coming from.
Quickly drops them, and both the 2 guys lunge forward, prevent her from closing the door. They force their way into the apartment. Helen's trying to run into the apartment to the
See,
room
and
where
this
she
is
knows
why
her
you
other
don't
roommate
open the
is. The
door for
men
people.
chase her down, tackle her to the
Alright,
floor,
you don't
pin her
do
down on
this.
her stomach. She feels the weight of a man on top of her and the coldness on her left temple. There is a gun pressed up against her head.
Ooh.
Shut the f up and sit down on the ground. If you shut the f
Okay.
up, you'll be all right. They start tying her hands together with a piece of plastic twine behind her back. They place a long strip of sticky duct tape over her mouth, and she can hear their conversations. I mean, she's looking for a way out, and she hears them talking, and it's so strange. It sounds like they're looking for someone. Initially, she thought it was a burglary. Then she thought maybe an SA. Then she thought, oh no, is it murder? But it sounds like it's not random. Shit.
It was
What the hell? I
targeted.
thought you said that she's home alone now. I don't know. How the hell am I supposed to know? There is another roommate. Are they
That
looking
was
for
the
her?
roommate who called the police,
That
right?
other
Or
roommate
is-
had
or
just
is
gotten out the
this
shower,
one
and
the one
she
who called the police?
hears Helen screaming her name, but she has no idea what's going on outside. She just screams back, "Come in!"
No.
She rushes to put her clothes on, and she's waiting for Helen to come in, but nothing is happening. She just stands there quietly listening, like, did I not hear her correctly? And instead of Helen, she hears two guys half whispering, half shouting, "Shut up, be quiet, get the tape. Where the hell is her roommate?" Helen's roommate starts freaking out.
Girl,
She
are you
rushes
able to get out
grab
the
her
window?
phone
'Cause
from
go
the
out.
bed, runs back
Leave.
to the bathroom, barricades herself inside,
I
and
mean, that
starts calling
works too.
911. She's freaking out. "My
I'd be
roommate's being
gone.
R-worded. There's a burglar. Please send someone quickly. Hurry."
Okay, this is the tape we heard.
She quickly turns off
I
her
mean-
phone so that they can't see that she called 911, and she
Shoot.
cuts it so close.
That's
Her
probably a
phone
fair
screen
assumption,
just turned
honestly.
black when the door to the bathroom slams open. Did you fucking call someone? Answer the question right now. Did you fucking call someone? There's two men that she does not recognize, and she's begging them, no, I just hung up on my friend, please no. They throw her onto the ground, tie her arms back together, duct tape her head multiple times, and she's pleading with them, "Please, can you just please leave my nose unwrapped so I can breathe, please?" Helen manages to get her hands loose from the twine while the guys are working up tying her roommate. It's her chance. She makes a run for it. She books it to the door, but one of the guys runs after her, tackles her to the ground. "I should
Damn.
shoot you for that." They grab her arm and drag her
Damn,
back
dude.
into her roommate's room. And at first, the guys place both the girls
Why
on the
are you
bed,
so
lying
pissed
face down,
off?
side by side. But very quickly, they
They have
decide
a
to
better
change
life than
direction.
you, is that
They
it?
throw both of them in the
Is that why?
bathtub, sitting next to each other, side by side. Both Helen and the roommate are rocking back and forth in fear, shaking. I mean,
Yeah,
when they
they're
were on the bed,
scared.
the implication was clear. The motive of the crime is SA. But when they're placed in the bathtub, why would you do that? Unless you have plans to try and facilitate an easy cleanup for murder, for blood.
Ooh, yeah.
And they're sobbing. They're trying to comfort each other when one of the guys turns to the other one and says, "Go tell Gina they're ready."
Oh,
Helen's roommate freezes. Gina Hahn? Her twin sister?
wait.
There's
So
no way.
where
Her
they
own
found? I know we're about to find out, but did these men? Well, did she kill them, or are they still alive? Because it sounds like they were able. They were able to tell people what happened. They were able to tell the story of what happened, right? So I assume because she called the police right when she got out and she heard something happening, which good for her. The quick thinking to call them immediately. Smart. Did they get there in time? Because I know earlier they said that when they came in, they saw girls tied up. But I can't remember if they only found Sunny or Gina or whoever, or if they found the roommates as well. I can't recall.
twin sister would
We'll
never.
find out.
But also, it's impossible. Because Gina Hahn is supposed to be in jail. The Hahn parents did notice some odd things about their kids when they were young. They didn't know that there was a word for it. Well, two words. It's called twinning reaction. Even when the two
Okay.
girls were separated as children after the parents' divorce, when
What, they
one of
still
them would
acted
get
the
sick
same?
with no contact or conversation with the other one, or it's not even that there's something going around in the schools, the other one would just get sick too, even when they're living apart. Neither knows that the other one is sick, which has sometimes resulted in some twins expressing that connection in some very dark, twisted ways. One
Okay.
very fascinating observation that some psychologists have made, and I don't know if the research on this is sound, but they state that sometimes when twins feel immense anger and resentment towards their twin, they will
The other
self-harm.
feels it?
Their desire for violence
okay.
starts with their twin,
But
but
that
then it
doesn't
starts
transfer
meshing in their
over.
minds as violence towards themselves because they feel like they have a shared identity. So they sometimes take out that violence that they feel for their twin on their own bodies. It might also have to do with the fact, the idea that when one twin is in pain, the other one feels it. This was supposed to be the second day that Sunny is testifying on the stand against her twin sister, Gina Han, for conspiring to murder her. But when she gets on the stand, she's completely disoriented. She's slurring her words. She has no makeup on, which is fine. But the last time she testified, she's like full blazer, full face. This time she's in her nightgown. She looks spaced out, and for some reason, she can only talk in this high-pitched whisper. And at times, she opens her mouth like she wants to say something, but then she just freezes. And then it takes her a second to slowly close her mouth, and the whole courtroom is staring at her like, what is going on right now? On the stand, she's asked, "You were late this morning, Sunny Han. Can you tell the court why?" "Right, so I told 2 people already what happened. Yesterday I had a big fight with my mom, and then I..."
Hold on. So Sunny is supposed to be up on the stand, right? I don't think that's not Sunny. That's probably Gina, and Sunny is the one being accused as Gina. You know, maybe either that or she's on something. Something happened,
I
or
argued
she
with my
got like
boyfriend,
no
and he
sleep.
was just so rude, and then we ended up breaking up again. So what I did was I went to the drugstore and I bought 3 boxes of sleeping pills. Each box contains about 20-something pills. "Why did you take the sleeping pills?" "I was angry, upset, and I wanted to self-exit."
Miss Han, you're still under oath.
Yeah,
You
never
were
mind.
late this morning. Could you tell me why?
Okay. I told 2 people already. What happened was, yesterday I had a big fight with my mom, and then I argued with my boyfriend, and he was so rude, and then we just ended up breaking up again. So what I did was I went to the drugstore and bought 3 boxes of sleeping pills.
And you took all 3?
Sunny had taken 35 sleeping pills and chugged beer until she blacked out.
That's still a lot.
She was taken straight from the courtroom to the hospital. Even just getting her off the witness podium, it took 3 people to help her down.
Wow.
So if twinning reaction dictates that one
It's
twin
crazy, though.
feels
She
the
still
other's
showed
pain,
up.
then Gina should feel pain when Sunny is recovering in the ICU during the trial, right? Maybe not. Because this set of twins, they're so different from other twins. Maybe one falling apart does not mean the other is going to fall apart. Maybe it's the opposite for the Han sisters. Kind of like vampires. Maybe when one is strong and thrives, the other must sacrifice for the other. They cannot both be happy and succeed. During the trial and even afterwards, Mrs. Han, their mom, came back into the picture, and she felt like, this is my chance to step up and be the mom that I never was to my daughter. She couldn't even imagine what her daughter was going through in that moment. Through the trial, she helped her recover emotionally and mentally. She took care of her. She talked her through her emotions, supported her while she got her behavioral science degree. She just wanted to see her daughter get her life back.
She wanted to see her succeed.
And she regularly would visit her daughter in prison. Gina. As for Sunny, Mrs. Han doesn't talk to Sunny anymore. She's got a new favorite daughter.
Wait, so
I guess
Gina
got
is
what
in
she
jail
wanted.
for trying to murder Sunny?
Yes, she was in jail for something else, escaped, got out, tried to murder Sunny, and now she's in jail during the trial.
Now she's mom's favorite.
And the whole trial, Mrs. Han is supporting Gina.
I thought Mrs. Han likes Sunny more.
Exactly. But during the trial, suddenly she switches up and she only supports Gina. She doesn't even talk to Sunny anymore.
Tried to take her life or something,
The
or the way
trial
she
was
acted
truly
on,
a mess. I mean, there were 3 groups of people. One group that thought that Gina is the evil twin, Sunny is the good twin, and it's simple as that. Another group who really supported Gina and believed that her life was just spiraling out of control, but she's not as evil as the prosecutors are making her out to be. And a third group of people who thought
to kill
both
her
the twins
sister,
were
I'd
kind
say
of weird.
she's pretty evil.
Which is wild to think that a lot of people were supporting
And yeah,
Gina.
I do
because
agree. Both
even when
twins
Gina
are
is
probably
arrested for
kinda
conspiring
weird.
to murder Sunny, she uses Sunny's name in the jailhouse.
Still.
The officers are like, "What's your name? We're arresting you for conspiracy to commit murder." And she says, "My name is Sunny Han."
Is that the one at the
please.
beginning
They could
that
check
she
your
was telling the
fingerprints.
cop her name was Sunny in the car?
Yes.
So she keeps telling everyone that her name is Sunny.
Yes. She starts slowly trying to just take Sunny's identity before even killing her.
Okay. but now she's arrested for killing Sunny.
And she still
Right.
claims that she's Sunny. And it was a whole shit show during the trial to get through, to think that, okay, there's two Sunnys and we got to make sure. And it's not like you can even do a
You gotta
DNA
make
test
sure
on
it's
one
the right
because they have the same
Right.
DNA. It was just a
They
mess.
have different
but yes,
fingerprints.
Yeah,
You
so
can do
how can they
fingerprints.
tell?
they were able to decipher.
Oh, maybe the
Yes.
mom can tell.
But I do think that's fascinating to think about.
I don't know if mom can
Yeah.
tell. She didn't
There,
seem
it
to
was a
spend
twin
much time
case
with
where
her
they tried to commit
kids.
the perfect murder because they were twins and they had the same DNA, and they would create alibis for each other because they also looked the same.
Yeah.
And witnesses who are strangers would not be able to tell
I
them
think
apart.
I heard about that.
It's very interesting. During the trial, Sunny's past became a huge conversation for the public. Why she
I
was even
bet.
arrested in the first place, because Sunny Han was arrested, remember? After punching her sister.
So they were both arrested.
Yes. So
Yep.
at first, when the public finds out about this trial, they think it's one evil twin, one good twin. One good twin went to the University of Laverne
But
on a
then
full ride
more
scholarship.
and more
She's doing
stuff
this
keeps coming
amazing
out
thing.
about
She's living in Irvine with her white BMW. She's the good twin. She's following the law. And Gina is getting arrested nonstop. She has a gambling addiction. She lied to the Air Force. It's one good, one evil. But then they find out, actually, Sunny has a crazy criminal history as well. And it's very interesting because remember how Doug and his twin from the twinning reaction psychological study, they got married the same year. They had kids the
Mhm.
same year.
Right.
Sunny and Gina also lived parallel lives after high school, just a little bit
Really?
differently. They both would get
Okay.
arrested for the same thing, theft. Sunny would end up dropping out of the University of Laverne. When she was competing against her sister, she was hyper competitive, but it didn't seem like she was competitive with anybody else. She lost motivation in her
sister.
studies. The only thing that she cared about was keeping up with the Orange County kids, which a lot of them were rich. I mean, the University of Laverne tuition is $55,000 a year. That's not including room, board, rent, transportation, everything, personal cost. They all drive nice cars. Their rent is paid for by their parents, all of Sunny's
Okay.
friends. And it just doesn't sit right with her. She hates it. So she tries to get a little side job. She's working at school and then she tries to maybe working at an ice cream shop, one of those side gigs. I mean, it's a numbers game. How many
She just
hours
wants
can you
something
work?
else
How
to
much
do,
can you get
right?
paid per hour? There's no way that she can work enough outside of school to be able to afford the lives that these other students have. So she starts disappearing on the weekends. At first, her friends don't notice. Early on, they thought maybe she has friends outside of class or a new boyfriend that lives in the next town over. But there would
I
be
mean,
these small
good guess, I
inconsistencies, and
suppose.
honestly, it felt like lies were just adding up. And Sunny's friends discover that she had been working as a dancer in Pomona.
Is that a bar?
It's like a
Club?
town in Orange
City.
County. She starts working there
city.
as, I guess, a dancer, yes. She just could not stand the idea of someone having something that she doesn't have. She gets so swept up in it. She loses her scholarship, drops out of school, and everything just starts
Aw,
going downhill from
girl.
there. She was arrested after punching Gina in the face because she stole her friend's credit card and went on a shopping spree. She bought designer lingerie, shoes, sunglasses. She spent thousands of dollars, and there was a warrant out for
Wow.
her arrest.
Huh.
Later, when she's arrested, she
Wow,
looks
okay.
genuinely confused. She would tell the police and the judge, I truly did not think that my friend would have
So,
even been upset because
She's
rich.
bad too,
I didn't think that she
but
would miss
just
the money.
not to the extent of killing her sister.
Whoa.
So this is brought
That's
up in
wild.
yeah, and it's the same attitude that Gina has every time she's arrested. So while Gina feels inferior to Sunny, Sunny felt inferior to literally everybody else that she went to school with. A close friend of the family said, they're both the same. They didn't know the difference between wants and needs because I guess half the time they didn't have what they needed. So their wants just got out of control.
Yeah. Okay.
A lot
I
of
can see
netizens
that, I
find it very
guess.
fascinating that even though they're technically separated after high school, they went on to live very parallel lives, committing very similar crimes.
So Sunny, you say Sunny was like has a good job driving around in a BMW.
All lies.
All lies.
She's just stealing. She works as a receptionist and she's stealing a lot from her friends.
Oh.
Okay, so
Now, the Korean American community came together to send
letters.
letters to the judge asking for leniency for Gina, which I thought was very interesting. But they stated in the letters that siblings fighting is part of Korean culture and this was overblown and over dramatized by the American
Wow.
police. Which again, I'm Korean American. I have never fought with my sister like that. Ever.
Like attempted murder?
Or even
Yeah,
just like punching
dang.
each other in the face.
Yeah. Wait.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's not.
So the
that-
Korean community was
okay.
supporting Gina a lot. They
Mm.
really rallied behind Gina during the trial. And I
I'm
think it
still
was
listening, but I'm
probably
gonna go get a
part
snack
and
real
due
quick.
because Sunny begins supporting Gina during the trial. During the first day of testimony, Sunny was coherent. She's testifying against Gina as the star witness. She's the prosecutor's star witness. But in the middle of the trial, she starts changing her story. Or at least she starts changing how she feels about the crime. She tells the court that she does not believe that her sister tried to kill her. It's stated that while in jail during the trial,
Were
Gina
people's
would call
comments
Sunny
getting
saying
to
things like,
her?
"This is all a big conspiracy. There's no reason for me to want to kill you." This is a big case of the cops not understanding how Korean siblings are and trying to brainwash everyone into believing that it was actually a conspiracy to commit murder when it wasn't. It's
well,
just a shitty
ma'am,
fight gone wrong. For
you
what?
But okay, my question was, what were
no,
they
that's
trying
not
to
a
do
normal.
when they broke into the house?
Gina
Right,
tells her,
okay.
"I left my stuff at your place, right? And you weren't picking up your calls. You didn't want me to come see you. We were fighting, and I just wanted my belongings back, and I wanted to teach you a lesson. And so I sent in these two guys, and I just wanted them to tie you up, but I don't know why they brought out the gun and all these things. I just needed backup so I could get my stuff back. I just wanted my
I don't
stuff
believe
back."
that. Not,
I don't know
no,
why the
I
two
don't
guys
believe
did
it in
all
the
of that. Truly,
slightest.
it's a mystery to me. Why they threw you in the bathtub, we never talked about that. That was never part of the plan. Sunny, you have to trust me.
But they threw them in and then said, "Hey, let Gina know that we're good now. We're done. We did everything she wanted us to do." Like, Gina, come on. I don't believe that.
You trying to forget it when you were talking to the people from Lisa?
Yes.
You were?
Yes.
When you went on the Lisa show, you were trying to forget this?
No, when I was on Lisa's show, I wanted to tell people the things that was untrue. I wanted to clarify that.
I don't believe that she tried to kill me. That's just totally nonsense. There's no.
But I love that the title card for her says, "Gina tried to kill her."
During the trial, Sunny is asked, "At times, did it feel as though your mother had abandoned the both of you?" Yes. "And at those
Yeah, they'll
times,
say,
who was
"Of
it that you turned
course."
to?" Gina. "And how do you feel about your
Yourself.
sister? How do you currently feel about your sister, Gina?" This is on the stand after Gina tries to kill her. "I want to do everything I can to help her."
So that gets me to the basic question. How do you feel about your sister?
Currently, I want to do everything I can to help her.
The two guys that storm the apartment and tie up Helen and Sunny are probably the
And maybe
most
she really
puzzling part
means
of this
that.
case. Who are they? Why are they even helping? Their names are Archie and Yoshi,
'Cause
and
her
neither of
sister's
them
probably
planned
not
on
okay.
getting arrested that day. Archie was the main one with the gun, and he told Yoshi to go get Gina, who's waiting in the car to come see her sister. So Yoshi runs out into the blue Mustang. Archie is going through the stuff looking for Gina's belongings. And I don't know what would have happened had Gina made her way in. But when Yoshi gets to the passenger seat, an officer stops them in the parking lot.
Oh my gosh, that's when the cop shows up.
Meanwhile, Archie is still in the house. He has no idea that there's police that showed up until there's a banging on the door. He momentarily opens it up thinking it's Gina and Yoshi, but he's face to face with 4 officers holding their guns straight at his face. He
Okay, so
freezes for a second.
They weren't even
"If I
able to
run,
get that
are you
far.
going to shoot me?" They scream, "Get down on the ground." He slams the front door, starts running towards the back door. He
Yes.
gets tackled because they
They're gonna go
break
after
in
you if you start
and
running.
arrested. Gina and Yoshi, they just drive off, leaving Archie
I
behind.
knew that would happen.
I mean, Gina knew since day one she's not going to prison for this. If Gina felt any guilt for what she did to her sister, she's leaving it somewhere on the highway because she's high-speed driving down to San Diego, running into the bank, insisting that she is Sunny Han, throwing down her ID. "I'd like to
Wow.
withdraw $5,000 from my account today. My name is Sunny Han."
And go
They give her
gambling?
$5,000 in cash, and now Gina and Yoshi are sitting in a car dealership trying to purchase a $40,000 Nissan.
What?
With
Her original
5,000?
plan that she told people was to drive to Mexico, get a plane
Dude,
ticket, fly to
that's
South
not even-
Korea, start over, start fresh.
No.
But they're not selling her the car. For one, her credit application that she filled
Yeah, it's
out
just not
has
gonna work.
scratches all over it, meaning she's answering the questions on the form and then scratching it out and writing new answers. Like she doesn't even know the answers to her own identity. Does this woman have amnesia? Why is she forgetting pretty standard things about herself? "Hey, Sunny, do you mind refilling this out?" Gina starts refilling out the credit application, and everything is about to clear and close, but the dealership tells her, "Okay, we're good to go, but you're not getting the car till tomorrow." She starts freaking out. "I'll throw $1,000 down right now for it." They are
Wait,
denied.
why
So Gina and
till
Yoshi
tomorrow?
head to a rental car place and they try to get a new rental car. So the blue Mustang that they were in was already a rental. They had turned it in. But now they're completely carless and they need to get a new car. And they're sitting on the couch in the rental shop waiting for that new car on the love seat. The police would later
Does the
say it
officer
looked
come
like they
in?
were cuddling, Gina and Yoshi. So who knows? They were physically
okay.
very close, which becomes problematic later. But they're on the couch, kind of cuddling, and officers storm the place screaming, "Get your hands up where I can see them! Get your hands out where I can see them! On the floor, now, get on the ground!" Yoshi practically throws himself onto the ground, but Gina gets
Yeah,
up
he said,
instead of
"I
getting
am
down.
not trying
I
the
said, "Get
police
down now."
today."
She's like half holding her hands up, half going, "Why are you doing this? I don't have any weapons. Get down, get down." Eventually, both Gina and Yoshi are arrested. Archie was already arrested at the apartment. Now, two factors would make this arrest
Okay, so now we
very
got everyone.
complicated. One, Gina keeps insisting she's Sunny Han. And two, both Archie and Yoshi are underage. Archie is 16,
Oh, shoot,
Yoshi is
really?
15, and
Oh
Gina
my
is
gosh.
23.
Wow,
Oh my gosh.
okay.
How do they know each other?
2 weeks before the attempted murder scheme, Gina Han is sitting in prison. She's got a few more months left in her prison
£10?
sentence. She stole about $40,000 from her uncle. He reported
Oh
her.
my
She
God.
got arrested. Yeah, the uncle that took her in high school. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Now, this wasn't even the first time that she was in trouble with the law. She had been on Target's watch list for a really long time for stealing cosmetics. It's a whole thing. She said that she was doing
yeah.
it to support herself.
Don't steal from Target. Because, well, okay, hold on. Let me finish eating my bread. When you steal from Target, technically, they're not supposed to stop you because, yeah, whatever reason, they're not supposed to stop you. So they can let you go. But they keep record that you have stolen at the store. After a certain amount of time of stealing from their store, they're going to stop you and arrest you. Have you arrested. They won't do it the first or second time normally because they're just like, okay, let's see if they do it again. Okay, third time. Let's see if they do it a third time. Oh, that's the third time. Call the police. Like they have a list. Just don't do it. Also, why would you come back to the same store? Like why would you steal from the same store that you've already stolen from? That's stupid.
One person close to the twins said, I mean, honestly, it felt like they just lacked plain practical sense. They didn't even seem to know how to cope with anything. So she's in prison, and a fellow inmate said, that little Korean girl? So weird. Nonstop talking about how she hates her twin sister and wants to see her die. I mean, she said that she's so angry she can't even hold it in anymore. She needs her dead. Even amongst inmates is a lot. They
So
said
she
that bitch is
admitted to
crazy.
wanting her sister dead.
Like, she doesn't take social cues. She does not read a single room. She'd just walk into a room and she'd be like, it's not even that hard. It would honestly be kind of easy if you really think about it. Kill my twin sister, sell her gold jewelry, get all of her cash, drive down to Mexico, fly to South Korea from Tijuana, and start a new life.
Wow, she
Wait,
had
she
a
said
whole
this?
plan.
Yeah. But just because you're in jail and you want to go out to kill somebody doesn't mean they're just going to let you out. So you can commit more crimes and then come back here for a longer sentence. Gina Han escapes jail in the world's most anticlimactic way possible. Work furlough. She's just allowed to leave. She's allowed to walk out of jail for 5 hours a day to work and then come back
Seriously.
in. She's basically just getting a free place to stay at night. The program
how
is
is she
technically
allowed
put in
that?
place so inmates who have a job and are in prison for a few months, they can hopefully still have a job when they get out because they're not missing work. But also, inmates will hopefully be able to get back into
I had
society
a
a little bit better.
coworker
Now, Gina has
get arrested. I had a couple coworkers get arrested. That didn't happen. They just didn't show up. That's all that happened. Everybody was confused. I said, "Hey, you know where this person is? They're supposed to be here today. This is their shift." "I don't know. Check jail view." That's what we do. We look up first name, last name on jail view. Oh, don't you look at that? She's in jail. All right. Well, time to find someone else. And then, depending on who the person was, after they got released, they'd be hired back. But it would depend on the employee.
5 hours to kill her sister. That's not enough. That's not enough. She can barely make it to Irvine in that time. So she takes a 2-week work furlough instead. She becomes a fugitive. She just walks out, no
She
intention
just
of
leaves.
coming back.
Doesn't come back.
So she's intended
I assume
to
they have like
really take
a
over
ankle
the
monitor,
Yes.
sister's
right?
ID.
That's what a lot of people are saying because you don't walk out on work furlough if you want to have a future.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, you can't get a job. You can no longer be Gina Han. You're a fugitive. And just like the situation with the Air Force, without the government provided housing, Gina has nowhere to go. So this time, she can't just show up at a casino and ask for a job. She's a fugitive. She ends up in
Right,
this
she's gotta
halfway
work,
house in
like,
San
under the
Diego
table
that's
and
owned by
stuff.
2 sisters. And she's staying there. No thoughts, no plans,
You're
just
still in
vibes.
California?
Until she sees 16-year-old Archie walk into the halfway house. He doesn't really have
Mhm.
anywhere else to be. I mean, there's not a ton of options for a 16-year-old whose parents don't take care of him. Archie's parents are busy dealing and smoking crack. His dad would coach him to lie whenever CPS showed up so that he would never lose custody, but he also did not care to take care of his child. It was up to Archie to just stay
That
alive and
sucks.
stay fed. As a kid, Archie remembers waking up with these raging, intense headaches. He would accidentally
Oh, me
inhale crack
too, kid.
overnight at the motel
Oh,
that his
well,
parents would make
not
him sleep
that.
at. I mean, he basically grew up without parents.
But
The
I
only
got
person in his
headaches.
life was his best friend, Laotian American named Jonathan Yoshi Sarath. Yoshi. And they were more like brothers than anything.
Okay, so
They
she
were the
found
only ones that could trust each other.
Archie.
Archie walks into the
and
halfway house one day.
I guess Archie
Whoa,
told her about Yoshi.
whose blue Mustang is that outside? Oh, you haven't met Gina yet, have you? Gina, come. So Gina, this is Archie. Archie, this is Gina.
They're quite
Archie's
young
staring at this pretty
compared to
Korean
her.
American woman. She's 23, he's 16. I mean, there's this aura
Yeah,
about her.
there's
She
that.
seems so
There's
mature, so
that.
put together, like she knows what she's doing in her life. But also,
Sure,
there's a dangerous edge.
Most
I mean,
23-year-olds
she
do
seems so
not know what they're
free.
doing in life.
He says he wasn't interested in her romantically or anything because she, quote, talked with a Valley Girl accent and seemed a little crazy. But it was
Oh, I
fun to
get
be
that.
around crazy, right? There was this air of
I don't
mystery
like
around
the
her.
Valley
Just the
Girl
way she
accent.
talked. What happened to your foot? Archie looks down. There's this wound. Oh, I accidentally shot myself.
You shot yourself?
And Gina's eyes light up.
How?
Speaking of, do you
What
know
did-
where I could find guns
You
for
have be
sale for
aiming at the
self-defense?
ground.
Off the market, of course, because you'd be surprised. There's a lot of Asian gangs out there, and I just want to protect myself. Archie goes to his cousin and asks if she can help. I mean,
I
the
need-
cousin
I need
understands
more
the
information
situation.
on
She's
how
a
he
woman.
shot
She
himself.
sells him a pocket pistol, a tiny one, like the size of your palm. It's honestly pretty goofy looking. It's a 2-shot Derringer, and Gina paid $60 for it. Soon after, Archie and Yoshi are running
Okay.
late for school, and they
My
ask
Oma
Gina, "Hey,
has a
can you give
tiny
us a
pistol
ride?"
that she used to keep in her purse. I don't know if she still has it or if she sold it, but it's a little bitty revolver.
In the car on the way to school in San Diego, she suggests, "Why don't we skip town? I mean, what's the point anyway? Let's go to Irvine, skip school, it'll be fun. I need to run some errands anyway, pick up something
Okay.
from my sister's place." Archie would later say, "I didn't really care about missing school. I had no parents to answer to, and I've only left San Diego one time in my life."
So he wanted to get
go
out,
to
go
Irvine,
do
Orange
something
County,
new.
which is maybe like an hour drive, it seemed like a really fun deal. Gina offers to pay them $100 if they can help her get her stuff from her sister's place. They did not know that they were on their way to murder someone who looks exactly like Gina.
That's what they were told?
They get to Irvine, they stop at a Ralph's grocery store, they buy duct tape, large garbage bags, twine, cleaning supplies, gloves, and a single potato. The potato is a very bizarre case. A singular
Why?
russet potato.
Okay.
They take that potato into a wildlife sanctuary where there's nobody around, like a big park. She tells the boys, "This is perfect. We can do some target practice here without anyone seeing us." Well, what if they
But-
hear us? Well, that's why we have the potato.
Wait,
It's a silence.
so they're supposed to be under the impression that they're just going to go help her pick up her stuff from her sister. Why y'all needing to practice? Like, why do you need to practice shooting if you're just going to pick up things from her sister? That don't make sense. That doesn't make sense.
Sir.
That don't add up.
They MacGyver the potato onto the barrel of the gun as a makeshift silencer.
I guess it
Did it
could
work?
work.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, Archie would later say, "Name one
That'd be
teenage boy who
interesting to
wouldn't use
see.
that opportunity to fire a gun. There was no deep-seated conspiracy for me to kill anyone. I was just a kid being a kid, taking advantage of the moment." After practicing on the potato, Gina drives them to a separate store to purchase magazines. They were going to use this
Okay.
as a ruse to get Sunny to open the door. Gina's telling them, "Look, Sunny wants to kill me.
Mhm.
I just need my stuff. Sunny's not going to open the door to me. So you guys have to go and get her to open the door." But she's not going to open the door to 2 random kids that she doesn't know. So act like you're selling magazines. When they get in front of the apartment complex, they're
I
sitting
don't
in the
remember when
car,
this
and Gina
was.
turns to them. "It's better if you guys take the gun." Archie's confused. Why would we need to take the gun? It's better that way. Besides, you never know. There could be Asian gang members on the inside waiting for us to get in there. Have you ever hurt someone before?
Okay, but
What?
okay, so
I'm just asking because
why
there's a
would we
lot of
tie
Asian
people
gangs
up
in the
then?
area, which is why I needed you two as backup to begin with. The two boys are confused, but Gina keeps going. What if you guys just kill my sister instead? Have you ever killed anyone before? What? No.
No,
I thought we were
mean,
just picking up
they're
stuff from
so
your sister's
young.
house. What is going on? It's just,
Not
if I don't kill my
also,
sister, then my sister's going to kill me
murder's
first.
wrong. There's that too.
Will you kill my sister for me?
No. What
No,
the fuck?
no. Archie said he was terrified at this point. He has no idea what Gina is capable of. She's asking him to kill her twin sister for her. He doesn't know if she's going to kill him for saying no, since even just by asking him, she's committed a crime. Gina rolls her eyes at Archie, slowly turns to Yoshi in the back seat. And what about you? Would you kill my sister for me? Yoshi's quiet and he shakes his head no. And for a second,
Probably
the entire
scared.
car is
I'm
silent
very
until
confused.
Gina starts slamming her hand on the steering wheel over and over and over again. And Archie said in that moment, he's thinking, whoa, this bitch is crazy. Archie and
Yeah.
Yoshi both look at each other, and the
Sounds it.
implication is very much understood. If she's willing to kill her twin sister and she's going this crazy on us, what's stopping her from killing us? Archie
Good
decides to
question.
take charge.
Oh,
He
so
opens
they-
the glove
do they
box,
go
takes the gun
along
out so
with it
that
because
Gina
they're
can't have
scared?
access to it. But when Gina sees this, she starts maniacally clapping and cheering and whooping in the car. I mean, she's gone off the deep end completely. Okay, remember the plan. Pretend you're selling magazines. Go to the door, see if Sunny's home. She looks like me. And if she's home alone, then if she is, you push open the door, storm the place, put the gun up to her head, threaten her, tie her with a rope. Here, take this. Place the duct tape over her mouth so that she can't scream for help. The two guys go and knock on the
Scared,
door.
yeah.
It opens
Okay.
and they freeze. They can't do it. They can't force their way in. They're way too nervous for this. They run back to Gina's car. I'm sorry. I think she's home alone. I don't know. Are you sure it's her? Does she look like me? I'm not sure. Side note, it wasn't Sunny at the door. They said
was
that they
the
didn't want the
other girl,
magazines
right?
and they just slammed the door shut on us. We'll go back and try again. They go back and nobody responds. Gina takes them out to eat burgers, and the whole time she's slowly convincing them that this is the right thing to do. And Archie and Yoshi decide to just go along with it, but not kill anyone. They're not killing people. They're just gonna go along, break
Just
in,
scare
get the
them.
stuff, bring the stuff out to Gina, or have
Okay.
Gina pick out the stuff. It's not like Gina can do anything. Archie's the one with the gun now. Archie said,
You sure she
everything I
doesn't
did
have
that
another
day
one?
was what I learned from the TV and movies. When he heard the police pounding on the door, he starts untying the girls, telling them it's all a joke. Just tell the police it's a joke. Please just tell them it's a joke. The girls would later say that the boys, Archie in particular, the one with the gun, was
Was
shaking
terrified?
the whole time. He was a
Ooh.
mess. He had the gun in his
So
hand
would that
and
be,
he did
like, under
traumatize the girls,
duress?
don't get me wrong. So we're not excusing that. But he looked so scared the whole time. He looked potentially more scared than them. Archie would even decline to take a plea deal in court later based on the fact
Oh,
that he
wow,
did not
really?
believe that he was trying to kill
He's felt-
Sunny. But if
okay.
you take a deal, you have to admit that you did those things, and he did not want to admit. I think it's really unfortunate. I'm not trying to say that the boys are completely innocent, but they're boys, they're minors. I'm not saying that they
Right.
didn't do anything wrong, but I would hardly call them conspirators for murder. I mean,
Yeah, I don't.
there
I
are
don't
also
think they
speculations
had-
that Gina was grooming
I
Yoshi
don't think they
because
were
they were
gonna
awfully
kill her.
close on that couch. I don't know. Everyone who knew Archie said his family was a mess, but he was a pretty gentle boy. Archie and Yoshi just ended up wrapped up in Gina's little games because they wanted to skip school. That's it. The argument during the
Damn,
trial
that
was,
really
did
sucks.
Gina
They got
conspire to
dragged
kill her
into
twin
all of
sister or
this.
not?
I mean,
The
yes,
prosecutors were
they
arguing with what they
played
bought
a
at
part,
Ralph's, with
but
what Gina was telling her
damn.
roommates, skipping work furlough, trying to go to Mexico. It's all very clear she was trying to steal Sunny's identity. Even when she's
Right.
arrested, she says she's Sunny. So that's what the prosecutors are arguing. Gina's defense is arguing, no, it's just sibling rivalry gone wrong, and she was just trying to get her stuff, and
Yeah,
things
I
got
don't
weird.
think so.
Gina did have a court-appointed psychologist, and she was diagnosed with borderline personality disorder with antisocial traits, which is
Not
not inherently
surprising.
a bad thing. But they said that Gina continues to manipulate people around her. Even their mother,
Even
Mrs.
in
Han, would tell
jail?
the press that her daughters were being
Okay.
categorized right now as one good, one evil. But she says that she supports Gina, and she thinks that Sunny is being dramatic, and both of her daughters are
Huh.
good.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Wow.
Which is fascinating because Gina uses her shitty relationship with her mom as part of her defense. She tells her psychologist that her mom was neglectful and abuseful and she was always scared of her. She said that is the reason for all of her mental trauma. But maybe it's a wake-up call from Mrs. Han. She wrote
I
to
mean,
the judge,
maybe,
had I been
yeah.
able to raise my girls in a more stable family
They would
environment,
have turned out
things would have
different.
not gotten this out of control.
I mean,
Did he
probably,
have
yeah.
no time at all in jail or a little time?
I wanted to get out
What do you consider a fair sentence? 5 years, 10 years?
I can guess now. I can't tell you. What can I say?
Gina would be found guilty and sentenced to
Okay.
26 years in prison.
26.
It is obvious that Miss Han is a
Wow.
danger to society, particularly to her own family. She has repeatedly committed crimes against her family.
She
The
did it.
sentence is
Wow.
as follows.
Like, don't
The
get me
total-
wrong. That's great that she got put away for all that, and she's not able to try again. But for just planning to commit murder for what is it, conspiracy to murder or something? 26 years? That's crazy. There are some murderers who have gotten a lot less than that. So just don't get me wrong, the girls are traumatized, but for just coming up with the plan, and she didn't really even do anything, but you know, just coming up with the plan. Obviously, I mean, she also escaped jail. That probably plays a part in it. But, and probably identity theft. But wow. Well, I mean, I think we're about to hear it. I think the judge was about to read off the what is it? Her charges.
Is an indeterminate sentence of 26 years to life in state prison.
Archie would be sentenced to 14 years in prison.
Wow.
As a
what?
minor, he will be paroled in
14.
10. Yoshi got 8 years,
Wow.
but ended up serving 4. I guess because he never held the gun and pointed it at the girls.
Oh, because he was
Yeah.
burglary with an arm.
A lot of
Weapon.
people feel
Armed
so
weapon?
bad for
Deadly
the boys
weapon.
because they were failed by their parents, they're failed by CPS, and now they're failed by the justice system once more.
Wow.
The last thing Yoshi told his attorney at
Wow.
the sentencing while he was
That's
sobbing was, "Please
crazy.
call my mom." After Gina's sentencing, Sunny visited her in prison, and
I
she
don't
came
know
out
if
of there crying and telling a
two
reporter,
boys deserve
"My
that
sister
much.
hasn't been plotting this. I'm 1,000% sure. There's no way she could have done this. I thought it was totally absurd, but I was beginning to believe the police, and I thought maybe it's possible. I was just confused. My sister had fallen into
I
some
think
sort
your
of
sister
scam by
did
these
do
2
it.
teenage boys. I know she did not try to kill me because I envied my sister. My sister is a lot smarter than me. She's highly intelligent. She did not envy me."
Okay.
You don't think she had anything to do with this? Is that your position now?
Right. Gina, over the years, though, has admitted to the crimes. She said, "At one point, I absolutely wanted
Okay,
to
so
kill my
she did
sister. I
say
hated
she was
her.
guilty.
The more I thought about my sister turning into a replica of my mom, I felt badly betrayed. With my growing rage, I wanted my sister dead."
Wow.
In prison, Gina earned her associate's degree in social and behavioral studies. She said, "I'm just interested in anything that has to do with
Wow.
behavioral and social
That-
pattern because I
Wow.
recognize my old behaviors and how it ties to my personality."
Yeah.
Side note, a lot of people wonder how Gina was able to convince the 2 teenage boys to do this for
She-
her. Now, while in prison, interesting
fact that that's
detail,
what she
Gina had a lot
studied,
of
that's
men writing
crazy.
to her from all over the world, pen pals, and she convinced one of them to send her $100,000.
Oh
and
my
he did.
gosh.
Whoa.
He's not even
I
from
wish I
America,
had
he's from
that.
Australia. The
Damn.
psychologist on the
Wow.
parole board said the fact remains that Gina is still flexing the manipulation muscles that she used to recruit 2 young men to murder her sister, boys,
Mhm.
honestly. And for that reason, and the fact that the inmate has never participated in mental health treatment, it is my belief that Gina continues to pose an unreasonable risk of danger to society.
I
She
think
was
so
released
too.
on parole
I
in 20
agree.
years. She's out and free. It said that Gina is still in contact with her mom. She's very
she's
close with
out?
her. She's working on getting her
Yay.
engineering degree and is creating a very
Yay.
stable career for herself. They're thriving, it seems. The mother, Mrs. Han, no longer talks to her former favorite twin. It seems that the tides have shifted
Wow.
like vampires.
So
Only
the
one can be
one-
the favorite.
The one who suffered all the trauma of this event, obviously, I'm sure Gina has trauma of other stuff, but the one, Sunny, who suffered the trauma of her sister trying to kill her, her mom doesn't talk to her anymore? Really? I wonder what the mom was thinking, like what happened to make her switch like that, you know? Like, cause Sunny was her favorite. So what made her do kind of, I guess, like a 180 on your favorite daughter?
And Gina is the favorite now.
Okay.
Wait, so mother
Interesting.
doesn't talk to Sunny?
No. When she was asked, "Where do you think Sunny is now?" she said, "I think she's dead."
Wow.
Sunny is not dead,
She doesn't
but
even
she has
care?
been arrested for sex work,
Oh.
leading people to believe that the twins truly are like vampires. Only one
Oh.
can succeed at one time.
Huh.
What are your thoughts? Do you think that there's a lot of like
That's
twin
crazy.
psychology that goes into this crime? Even
I mean,
just the
I'm
fact that one
sure.
has to.
I haven't looked into a lot of twin psychology. My best friend is studying to be psychologist, I think. But she's talked about it before. It's very interesting the way twins are connected. I would love to do more research into it. But it is interesting.
To succeed. I don't know if that's something that they believe and it ends up
Who knows if they
happening in
believe it?
life because they so strongly believe
Like a
it.
placebo effect?
Yeah, I think I feel like their
I mean, that
upbringing
would make sense, I guess.
basically.
But you got to think about the ones that in the study who were separated never knew that they had a twin, and yet they lived their lives very similarly and in parallel to each other. Like, and they didn't even know they had a twin, so they couldn't be believing the twin stuff.
Determine how they are now. Like probably the lack of love, even probably competition since they're 5. Like
Yeah,
they're
since they were
constantly
young.
being compared to each other. Who's better?
So a lot of people speculate that a lot of twins, they say it is normal to have competition because it's like your siblings. People always compare siblings, parents. You shouldn't, but they say, why can't you be like
they
this, like your
do.
sister? But with twins,
Yeah.
it's worse because you guys are
Yeah.
the same age, going through the same life experiences at the same exact time. However, people think that because they were left apart for the first few years of their life, they never bonded in the way that regular twins will bond. So while they
Like
still
those
have that competitive edge,
very
they
fundamental
still have this
years.
even stronger emotional love for each other, which maybe the Han twins didn't have. So they
Right.
had this instinctual, that's my twin and I love her, but it wasn't solidified at an early stage.
Yeah,
And the competition kicked in first.
that makes sense.
It's very interesting though.
Yeah.
But I also wonder, this is another thing that I wondered. Please leave it in the comments. If you're a twin and you were to murder your other twin, is it almost watching yourself die because they look so similar to you? I just feel like that
I don't
is
think
so
it'd be like that
eerie.
for her.
What was Gina trying to
'Cause she
do when
didn't
she
seem
goes
like
in? I
she
mean, what does
cared at
that
all.
look like? I don't know. What are your thoughts?
My thoughts are it was a very interesting case. And I've seen other cases about twins here and there about either twins that kill together or things like this where one twin tries to take over the other twin's identity. Like I said, it's very interesting stuff to like dive into. But that is going to be it for today. I guess I will play some music and stuff to end out the stream.